Good morning everyone, I hope you're all well today. Thank you very much for joining me. Today's reading is going to be the taste that you left them with. So we're going to be having a look at your relationship, the situation between the pair of you, what feelings they were left with last time, after you were together I suppose last time, and what would they like to say to you if they could. You have got three choices. You have got the King of Cups, number one. Number two is the World. And number three is the Sun. If you want to take your choice, then we'll have a little look into where you left them. Okay, pile number one. This feels like a relationship that has history possibly. There's some backdrop to it. There's some there's a slight feeling of volatility. Is that a word? It feels as if you've got the Tower, you've got Uranus, and you've got the Moon and the Lovers and the Six of Cups. So it feels like sweetness, a connection that, you know, you both, it feels like there's a history to it. It feels like you may have been in a relationship quite a while, or there's something between the pair of you that's been quite sweet, but there's also a feeling here of slight defensiveness. And with the Tower card and the Uranus card, it feels like a sharp exit. It feels like something has been discovered or said, and your person particularly feels like they walked away in a very abrupt manner. They're coming across as the Moon and Uranus, and you're coming across as the Lovers and Juno. They're both emotional type feelings here, but the Uranus card has the abrupt feeling that they possibly just turned their back and walked off. It feels like an argument to me. This just feels like an argument. The Seven of Wands here is defensive, the Tower is abrupt, and the Uranus is abrupt. You've got the Three of Swords below it, the Wheel of Fortune. Then this person may be abroad. The Wheel of Fortune there, this could be a conversation that's been a phone conversation. Imagine that. It's like, you know, somebody's picked up the phone and it's got a bit hot. Something's been brought up. You're trying to find a level ground and the phone's gone down because it feels as if it's just finished here. So this is just basically looking at the situation at the moment in the relationship. It feels initially, the Lovers and the Moon card, that the connection was very emotional, very sweet. You've got Juno here, so I guess that you're thinking more of a long-term partner. They've got a connection with you, which I think probably makes them feel nurtured in some way, or there's familiarity there, the Six of Cups. There's some way that you make them think of their home life, or, I mean, don't take this the wrong way, but of mum. And I'm not meaning, you know, with the Moon card, I'm not meaning mum as in like oven gloves and chasing you around with a spoon, you know, wooden spoon. That's just my husband, not me, but that's what happened to him. There's just a feeling here that in some way you fulfill something inside him that feels familiar and feels good. So the connection is very easy. It feels like two people who are very open with what they're saying, and they express themselves reasonably clearly. But there's also a feeling here that there's defensiveness on their part. It feels like annoyance. It feels like your person, when you actually split up, although we haven't gone into that bit, there was an argument or there was some annoyance somewhere, you feel a little bit more controlled. You feel as if you want to move things forward. You feel as if you're prepared to take your time. Your person, I do think, has a more volatile nature than you. The person I'm thinking of when I'm looking at your cards is like Cancer, Capricorn. It's that, not that those cards are here, it's just a feeling of somebody that's quite level with regards to their emotions. And the Cancer, Capricorns that I know, it's very difficult to poke the bear with them. You know, you try and rile them and they have none of it. Absolutely none of it. Your person feels like they could have some fire in them, possibly a strong Uranus there with that Uranus card. You've brought something up and they've kicked off about it. So the relationship though initially feels as if you just feel good together. It feels like you were moving forward, you were very positive. It's like you maybe didn't even see this coming, and it feels like something has just basically sparked a situation between you that has snowballed into something else that you didn't expect. And oftentimes it is that way, isn't it? You can get on perfectly well with somebody or one argument and you're close to divorce. It just honestly can feel like that sometimes. So the problem to me feels like they're being defensive. You don't really know what you've done in some way because you're just basically talking about something, suggesting something, discussing something, and it's left you wondering what on earth you've done. And this person has acted in a very sort of abrupt manner. It feels like this one feels like you're quite soft and feel bruised by the situation, while they are probably a bit harder than you and have turned away in some way. It feels as well that you've sort of made a backdrop or a bed that they can lie on that feels comfortable and it feels nice to them, and there's a slight annoyance that you've ruffled the sheets. Feels temperamental. They feel temperamental. And you feel as if you're left thinking, well, I had hoped for this one. What has happened? What has happened? With the King of Cups there, your person could very much be water and fire or water Uranus. It feels like somebody who's normally quite smooth until they're pushed into a corner and they come out all guns blazing. It feels like when everybody else talks to them, they're just very much easygoing, very much, they can connect with people very well, which I think you probably both do. It feels like a really nice connection. I can have this image of like two people walking down a street with hands, holding hands, with hands even, just holding hands, just connecting. And then something's kicked off. So I'm going to pull this away. I'm going to look at how they feel when you left them. So let's just get these cards out of the way. How did they feel? I'm going to leave these up here actually. Okay, this has got a different feeling the more I look in the next pack of cards. Building on the first pack or the first spread, has a feeling of this person may feel with the Uranus there, and they've got the Two of Pentacles, the Three of Cups, the Star. I'm wondering whether your person has quite an Aquarius feel about them, where they hate to be tied down, they hate to be questioned in some way. And I wonder whether you've connected with them, they've connected with you, and then you've brought up something about being a little bit closer together. It could be something really simple like, could you spend Friday night with me and not your friends? And this person in some way has felt slightly trapped. There's a feeling here this person feels like they've been backed into a corner and they're quite sociable and they need to, I don't mean spread their seed, I mean spread their wings in some way. It very much could be spread their seed, but it just feels like somebody who likes to socialise and not be tied down, and they felt at home with you and it's not been enough for you, and I think they've left, but I think you're the one that's probably been very controlled in the situation. What they're left with and the taste that they've got from you at the moment is a feeling of being rebuffed. Although they may have initially caused the problem, they feel as if they've been rebuffed because you haven't accepted who they are. And it makes me think of somebody with an Aries moon. It makes me think of my dad, to be honest. Out every night. Mum was more junior lovers. She was very heavy into her family. And if he was questioned why he was going out, although it was every night, he would flip. He would, honestly. But he would be like, where did that come from? He just couldn't be tied down. But the thing is, you look at his mother, and his mother was very similar. she was always away, she was always out, and that's the way he expected to live his life. But it may have come to a point between the pair of you where it's not acceptable for you, that you actually feel like you want a bit more. This person feels like they like to move where they want, when they want. You know, I said water, but it feels as if it flows like water, but it feels like it's somebody who needs their wings. It feels more airy and it feels like all of them. Not earthy, to be honest. There's not too much earth in here. Somebody who likes to socialise, somebody who likes to play with situations, somebody who possibly, with a 3 of Cups, the 2 of Pentacles, likes to flirt, likes to be, doesn't mean they follow through. It just feels like somebody who's got quite a freedom-loving, open personality, to be honest. And you've connected on a different level, and that is part of them as well. Do you know when you sort of people reveal themselves like pulling back an onion skin? This person has got lots of different revelations. I think initially your contact has been very emotional, which I think, you know, very much a very sweet connection. As I said, there's like somebody that you sit next to, you don't have to talk to. It's like somebody you can discuss issues that you've had in your family, and they've had them too. There's just that connection that feels like your childhoods were similar. You may have come from a similar area. And then there's that, you've unpeeled a bit of them that hates to be tied down. And they've left, I think. I think it's them that's left. The Star card here makes me think of the last scene of Gone with the Wind. Who says tomorrow's another day? She says tomorrow's another day. To Rhett Butler. It does feel a little bit like that, because the Star card is looking forward. Next, the 2 of Pentacles and the 3 of Cups. So you've left them with a taste of freedom, which sounds extremely rude, I know, but the thought that they can get you back. The Star card there is like tomorrow is another day. Now, what they're left with, the taste that they're left with, is making them look back at the emotional connection that you've had, but knowing that you've got your snooty nose in the air now, because they've made their bed. They had to choose because it wasn't really fitting you, and you've basically, I think, stated what is correct for you, or what feels right for you in the relationship, and then you've walked away after they've probably acted a little bit too childishly. And you've got the Ace of Cups here. There's a feeling here that they've wanted more, and they think that there's a possibility of getting you back, but it's leaving them angsty. There's a feeling here that they think that there's hope to get you back, possibly, but at the moment they're suffering a little bit. So this is not an unusual power, but it's like everything comes in steps. It's like their personality, your personality, how you've connected, then how you've split is quite different. And then they felt like they've been pushed into a corner, their freedom's coming, so they're quite pleased about having room to move. I'm not saying you didn't give them the room to move. I think it's more to do with how they function anyway. Maybe they've had to maybe if you are separated with a World card there, they've had to be independent, they've got to do things on their own. So they know that they can do it without having to worry that they're insulting somebody or insulting you or not doing the correct thing. But the Star card here to me is pushing things forward, wanting to know when are they going to get you back here. With the Ace of Cups is, when something's taken off you, when you're reaching for that sale item and somebody else grabs it before you, it's like that's when the emotions really start flowing. I think with the distance and perhaps a bit of separation, this person comes to realise the emotional connection between the pair of you. You don't get that every day. But here with the 4 of Cups, they know that it's going to be a long haul to get closer to you. Because you've got that with the 9 of Swords, which to me feels quite snooty and arsey at the same time. It feels like you've put your foot down, to me. But your person has what I guess is I'm going to say playful. I don't mean like giddy playful, but a playful way that they live life. It's like things can end and start again, and they don't reflect too, maybe. They don't, they're optimistic. They're optimistic here with the Star card and the feeling behind the last pile that they can get things back. Like some people are a little bit more steady, tend to fall into situations and fall into a pit, and they think, well, that's it, full stop. This person is like, I'm going to try again later. I'm going to try. But there's definitely a feeling here that by you putting your foot down and stating what you want out of the relationship, possibly, or letting it be known that something isn't really ticking for you, that's annoyed them. It feels like an impetuous child, and in doing so, they've probably disappeared with a positive thought that they can get you back some way. It's a bit like overconfident in some way. But here, it feels like by doing that they've actually realised what they had, and it makes their emotions more intense. Let me just put a couple more cards on this one down here. Okay, this person isn't going to do anything about it immediately, I don't think. You've got the Nine of Wands, the King of Pentacles, the Two of Wands here. This person's upset. It feels like this person wakes up in the night and the first thing they think about is you, and it feels as if they've made the wrong move. You've got here a feeling of the King of Pentacles, the Two of Wands is, oh, I love this face, look at it. What a pout. It just looks as if they're being slightly stubborn, even though they feel that they possibly have the chance to make a move in the future. But the Two of Wands makes me think that they're watching what you're doing. They're trying to understand the situation. There's a slight, what's the word? Stubbornness. The stubbornness there with them. Your person feels like it wants their cake and eat it too. That type of feeling here. Is that the right term? They want the cake, yeah. You know what I mean? And the Two of Wands, this person's watching your moves. Watching your moves. So it wouldn't surprise me, the World card, the Two of Wands, whether they're checking you out online. You know, I don't know if you've Facebook, that type of thing, where it pops up where you are and they're interested to know what's going on. But this person feels like an only child type of feeling here, where they haven't had to communicate too often with lots of other... They haven't had to share their attention with people. It's like, this is what I like in my... It's quite innocent way. This is what I like in my life. This person's questioned me. I'm not having that. And then there's like, you're making them grow up in some way, because they're realising that anything worth having is worth working for, with the Ace of Cups down here and the Star. So I think it feels like timing may be a factor here, that they may actually, by you pulling away, it's working on their emotions to make sure that they've got to put their effort into, and they've got to commit in some way. If they want the sweetness, they've got to put the hard work in. And, you know, and if they are extremely sociable, which is a feeling here, that there's got to be balanced out. There's got to be balanced out. Right, I'm going to do, what would they like to say to you? I'm going to use the boards today. What would they like to say to you? This is what they'd like to say to you. Okay, what I get from this, from the cards that we've looked at, the few piles that we looked at, this is what I think they would say. I know I can be self-centered at times. Why is that funny? That isn't funny. And I know the connection between us felt so right, but I'm not used to being questioned and really fear any barriers to my independence. Is that an E or an A? I don't know. I'm watching silently and coming to terms with the feelings of missing you, but it's not easy to find the love we had, and I'll be back. Okay, right. Pile number one. I hope that makes sense to you. I'm going to leave you there. Thank you for joining me. Bye. Okay, pile number one. Your relationship. We're going to look at this in three different sections, I think. We're going to look at your relationship and the situation to begin with. This relationship and situation feels big. You've got Jupiter, the Five of Wands on their side, which to me makes me think of a large personality who's not afraid to express, not afraid to have a fight, is what it feels like on their side here. You've got Lilith in the Wheel of Fortune. To me, feels exactly the same type of feeling. The Wheel of Fortune with Lilith makes me think of somebody who's not afraid to state their claim to whatever they're feeling, and possibly slightly wary of a situation that you might have been in the past that makes this one feel familiar? And that's not a positive thing. This is a feeling with Lilith and the Wheel of Fortune that you've almost got your eye out for being rebuffed in some way. The World card here makes me think that there could be distance between the pair of you, different cultures, because you've got a lot of feeling of travel here. Jupiter, Wheel of Fortune, the World. There was something else here. No, there wasn't. There's a really, really strong feeling here. The connection is quite passionate between the pair of you. You've got the devil, the Lovers, and the Strength card as well amongst these big cards. You two are people that play life in a big way, and you both enjoy possibly the drama of it. Possibly the drama of it, until the drama goes wrong and nobody enjoys it. But there's a feeling here that you'd rather live life big and experience it than dribble through life. This has got a feeling of people that are adventurous and make their way through life and enjoy a physical connection. You two are people, I guess, that wouldn't want to be 10 years, 20 years down the marriage line and be in separate beds. This has got a feeling if there's no physical connection, there's just no connection. The King of Cups and Strength, though, there's an emotional undercurrent to this connection that's quite strong, and a feeling of possibly through respect for some situation, whether it's a situation between the pair of you, that you're trying to do the right thing amongst passions that are ruling. The Ten of Wands and the Four of Pentacles here, there's heaviness and a slight restriction amongst a whole pile that feels like there shouldn't be any restriction because the pair of you feel very similar. It feels like two people that meet and it's never crossed their minds to hide their feelings. There's too much fire here for it to be tepid, and there's too much devil and the Lovers and passion here for it to be anything but open expression and strong physical pull here. So the problem between the pair of you, the Lovers, the Strength, the Four of Pentacles. The Lovers is a connection that's strong. The Strength is trying to somehow not let that rule you. And I don't know if there's a situation between the pair of you where you can't let your passions rule and you've basically had to pull back for some reason. With the Four of Pentacles there, it could possibly be you that's almost being a little bit cooler than you actually want to be. So I'm getting an image here of distance. I'm getting an image here of possible other situations in your way that are causing you not to be able to express yourself. And I mean passionately express yourself in this pile. And the Lilith card up here keeps catching my eye. You know, the Lilith card is quite a strange one to have with the Wheel of Fortune because it speaks of power, but the Lilith can somehow be psychological thwartedness, I'm making this up, of not being equal in a relationship, possibly not feeling that you fit in, or having very strong views of who you are and where you fit into the world. That was probably the reason this person was attracted to you in the first place, and that's where all this sort of passion is firing up. But there's something here that is making it be pulled back for some reason. I don't know the reason. I can just feel there's a feeling here of emotions, passion, heaviness, lust, and having to play the gentleman and lady game and almost pulling back for some reason. And I don't know what that is. Let me have a look, see if I can get any more out of that. This is quite an interesting pile, and I don't know if it's interesting for you. So I said this is another pile, and somebody said in the comments, this is not interesting. Well, it is. It's the story behind it and trying to pick the bits out that's interesting to me. But I know in real life, these readings and your lives, can hurt. I remember seeing Cheryl Cole being interviewed, and she was, I can't remember who it was, Alan Carr, maybe I don't know. And she was crying on the couch saying, because she was discussing her footballer boyfriend having an affair, and she's crying as they're just asking questions like normal as in not connected to it. And she's saying, this is my life. We're talking about it as if it's a riddle or it's something interesting to put in the papers, but I'm living it. Which you all are living these lives, aren't we? You all are, aren't we? I'm asking why holding back, and I'm getting more holding back. I've got the Four of Pentacles twice. I've got the Moon card here. The Moon card makes me flick back to the Lilith card here, which has got something to do with emotions and feeling where they fit in, feeling where you're seen, feeling it's like a lot going underneath the surface where you've got to be fulfilled emotionally, not just physically. And there's that Lilith feeling here, the Wheel of Fortune, that makes me think very strongly that you may be, you know, lady or man, somebody who, whenever I say lady or man, I keep thinking I've insulted people with you, and I don't mean to. A feeling of a strong opinion on where you sit in relationships, and if you sniff anything that you think may be slightly derogatory, it's like the talons come out. Yeah, I'm thinking of wings and talons with Lilith. It feels like it hits a bone, strikes a bone. Let's not go into bones. That is what I'm picking up with the situation. A volatile situation that feels as if it's very passionate. It feels like you're both very similar. It feels like you want life to be big. You want life to be adventure. Probably quite gregarious, but I think a very strong sexual pull between the pair of you. There's something here to do with emotions, an undercurrent here. Pulling out the moon, having the King of Cups and the strength in the middle makes me think that there's something to do with either suppressed emotions with regards to the pair of you, or feeling that your emotions aren't seen, because there's a lot of fire going on here. The Ten of Wands and the Four of Pentacles, it feels like it could have actually built on there's something that's not clicking between the pair of you that's built on it, and you've both withdrawn. So to summarise that, I guess it's a very strong connection between two very open and assertive and fun-loving, adventure-loving people that is very passionate but has stopped for what I guess are emotional or more psychological issues between, and I'm thinking it's the person asking for the reading. It feels like the other person has sparked off, and that you having the reading has an issue with equality maybe, and I don't think it's a bad issue. I'm just thinking it's something that it's a view that you hold strong to yourself strongly, as in you perhaps might not have felt it in this relationship and thought, I'm not having that. Okay, let's go on to the next bit of your reading, which is the taste that you left them with when you left. That same card. I'll keep those there actually. Oh my gosh, okay. I think how they felt during your last meeting, or what the taste that you've left them with, this does build up, is, I said initially, a strong personality. Both of you got strong personalities is what I'm picking up here. During what I guess is probably quite a contentious get-together, you got the Seven of Cups, the Four of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles. The Seven of Cups and Four of Cups to me are like cutting off. Your person has cut off. You've made them feel confused, and so they don't know what to do with it. So in some way, they've basically turned their back or turned their nose in the air more so. The Ace of Pentacles is possibly getting themselves stuck into another situation, as in a work situation where they're buried in, and they're trying not to think. This person isn't somebody who, I guess, searches for their own meaning through reflection. It feels like somebody who has to worm their way through situations that they don't know how to handle. It feels like they have to go out and do something to almost separate themselves. The feeling that you've left them with is a feeling of huge defensiveness. It's like an ego that's been battered. No, actually, that's a wrong word, to be honest. It's like an ego that is seeking control. Yeah, it's not been battered. It's like they're coming out strong. It feels like they've got the gloves on and they're coming out fighting. And this wouldn't surprise me, because you've got the Emperor, you've got the defensive Nine of Wands here, where it's just holding, slightly bruised, maybe slightly battered, and then you've got the Ace of Wands here. So this has a feeling of somebody that is ready for a fight. It does feel like, it feels, the pair of you feel as if you, it feels fiery. It just feels fiery. It feels like, if you insult somebody who's quite fiery, you ask them a question, even if it's a normal question, if you question them ever so slightly, they will never back down. If there's a lot of fire in the person, they will come out blazing, all guns blazing. And I have said this before in a reading a long time ago. My sister, who's like Leo, when we used to go in trying to get into clubs, when you're slightly underage, when you're about, 17 or something, and somebody would ask me, I'd be like, oh yeah, right then, okay, yeah, no, I am. Because I looked really young then as well. My sister, who was, 16, 17 and still trying to get into clubs at 18, would go, who do you think you're talking to? It would be that type of reaction. This has that feeling of, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? So this person isn't going to be open at the moment with regards to the feelings going on between you. So they've got their spikes up, I think. That's how you've left them feeling. Initially confused, and then almost pulling back, thinking, you've got two aces here that they can do. There's a slight arrogance feeling here, not in a bad way. There was in Power 1 as well. This has got an arrogance feeling in a good way of, I can make anything of life that I want to. I can have a crack at anything, which is a good thing. It's like bravery. It's like a feeling of being quite courageous. And it's a feeling of not taking anybody else's structures on in some way that, you can't do this, you can't do that. This is a feeling like annoyance and being questioned. This is a feeling like, I'm the one with the power and I like it that way. And I think that with the Lilith card here may have kicked you off in the first place. But there's also a possibility of the two aces that they feel that they can get you back. So there may be a slight bit of arrogance, but let's just call it courageousness. Yeah, let's just call it courage. Courageousness. It's a great word. Okay, let's pull these apart now and let's just get the boards out and see what they would like to say, how you've left them feeling and what they would like to say to you. Okay, pile number 2. I've put down here, we are so similar. I could see myself in you and I feel we could burn some fun together in a tired world. I haven't felt such a strong physical connection towards anyone. Ever. You left me feeling bruised and I will never let you know. I know you wanted me to quell my ego. Is quell a word? But I can't. I guess we will meet again and forget everything that went wrong. So this has a feeling of passion and fire and being explosive and then forgetting. To me, that's what it feels like. So I don't know if that feels right to you, pile number 2, but I'm going to leave you there. Thank you very much. This has a different feel to it than the other two piles. I don't really know why yet. I'm getting a feeling of admiration. I'm getting a feeling of wishing there was a deeper connection from them. There's a feeling here of finding the right person from them. And you're feeling, there's a feeling from you which is making me think that it's different from the other piles, is that this connection may not have been a long-term relationship before. That feels like there's a lot of muddling about beforehand with the first two piles. This almost feels as if it's a lot of watching, a lot of admiration and a connection there that has fallen to pieces, possibly due to discovering something, or possibly I get this feeling of somebody that has walked in, attracted to somebody, and either one or both of you walked into each other with another partner. That type of feeling. That's just one scenario, but it has a feeling of discovery and everything falling to pieces. You've got the Queen of Wands and Juno for your person. That's somebody, these eyes are eyes on the stars in the sky, and the ones people, the ones owls, they can, or they feel they can do anything they want to do. Ones are very creative, very adventurous, very sort of forthright with how they make life work for themselves. The Juno card here is a connection, and it's like a long-term connection. It's somebody you want to settle with. So this person, I guess, has seen you and felt that you were in their grasp just because that's how they see the world. It's attraction, that somebody they want to stay with or be with for a long term, and they feel there's a possibility there. So this is why I'm getting a feeling of crush here, you know, sort of the connections. And the Sun is a light-hearted card, and the Sun is a beautiful card. You're coming across as the King of Swords and Psyche here. So there's a feeling here of watching and trying to see the patterns and trying to understand what the other one's thinking, trying to see where they fit in, almost like looking to see their body movements to see whether they're attracted to you. You know, the type of, I get a feeling of somebody that's walked away from them and looked back to see if they're still looking. It has that type of light-hearted connection where there's a lot of attraction and admiration here. And then it turns into the Death and the Tower. The actual situation is the Death of the Tower and the Princess of Swords. So I'm thinking Princess of Swords, communication, Death in the Tower, a big moment, everything's falling to pieces, a change in events, that there may be some situation between the pair of you where you've discovered something or seen something that has hurt or shocked the relationship a bit. And the problem between the pair is the Emperor and the Chariot. That is like an uphill struggle. And the Wheel of Fortune, a big uphill struggle to be together. So there's something, I guess, between you and this person and the connection. This is just the beginning, the backdrop of what the taste that you've left them with, that is difficult to get hold of. The connection is difficult to pull together, but it feels like, as I've said earlier, something has popped up that's hurt amongst what I guess is maybe, I don't know if it's long-standing or just something that's happened very quickly, a connection where you've both been looking at each other and thinking you're the one. And there could have been the Sun card there, you know, the two little devils, two devils, and the Sun is openness, and these, oh my gosh, what's going on here? Okay, so that one person's hands are grabbing hold of the other person's solar plexus, which I suppose is the Sun. It's that feeling of joy. It's the feeling of yellow. You know, that yellow colour that just makes you feel like you can be open, and that it feels like a summer's day, and it feels like you can chat and not feel as if you've got to put a face on. And it feels as if the connection is just fun and outgoing and smooth. This could even be like, you know, a couple of, or just seeing somebody and that connection being, you know, just a quick sort of contact when it just is, oh my gosh, you're really attractive type of feeling. And your person's felt the same, and you are doing a lot of trying to understand, you know, possibly if you're looking at tarot readings, you've got Psyche and the King of Swords. That's an intellectual approach to patterns or understanding of the mind. So you're probably trying to look at tarot and trying to, you know, this is obvious, look at astrology or anything like that to see, is this person meant to be a big part of your life? There's a feeling here of that. And then maybe finding out they've got a partner. There's lots of different feelings here, and that probably depends on whether the connection is a long-term one and something's been revealed, or whether there's an attraction here and you don't know where to go with it next. But it feels as if it's a struggle for you two to be together. The Emperor and the Chariot, the Wheel of Fortune, is actually a feeling of struggle that you want to actually put the effort into, I would say there. So the problem is the fight to get together. Your person being the Queen of Wands up here in the Wheel of Fortune, and all these sort of fighty, athletic, go for it cards at the bottom, is more likely to move towards you than the other way around, I think. So far, probably clearer than the other piles, the taste that you've left them with is a feeling of a connection and excitement and hope. And even though there's a struggle to get to you, it feels like they want to put the effort in. Now let me go a little bit deeper into the next bit. So, okay. Okay, this is nice pile. You've got here feelings, the taste that you left them with. How they felt when you went is, I guess, hope. The world, the Wheel of Fortune, amongst those optimistic cards that you've already had, is like, I found somebody I'm attracted to amongst, I guess, lots of people who don't really float my boat. The Nine of Swords there is they wonder whether they can get hold of you again, or they wonder whether that's the end of the connection. And then it turns in down here, the taste that you left them with is the Knight of Cups and the Ace of Wands, which is, the Knight of Cups is emotions and romance and wanting to move forward with it. The Ace of Wands is wanting a physical connection. The Moon is slight confusion with regards to how they're going to do that, but with the World and the Wheel of Fortune behind, it's like they're prepared to put the effort in. They're prepared to basically trawl across a distance, or I'm going to make this really romantic now, I'm not. They're prepared to put themselves out of their comfort zone to make sure they get into contact with you again. So there is a strong feeling here that this could have been a small contact that has, you know, like an eye contact, or when you meet somebody's eye, or when you talk to somebody for a short amount of time and you think, oh my God, that's the one. And it may not be the one, but the feeling is there. So just the possibility is enough to get you and your person excited, I think. Possibly more so your person. That's what they were feeling. To sum that up before you even get to the board, they have felt that you were the one. Most of the time I read cards, and it's often the reader I feel has, because possibly why they're coming for the reading in the first place, there's always a feeling, not always, but there's often a feeling of them being the one that's bowled over. This has a feeling of the person you're asking about. You've left a taste of wanting more. You've left a taste of excitement, of possibilities. You've left a taste of meeting somebody that they would like to spend. The Juno card there makes me think of, you know, a long-term relationship with. And the world and the Fortune card here, and the Nine of Swords. And the Moon, the Nine of Swords, possibly with those, with the Emperor card with climbing the mountain on it, make me think that it's difficult to get to you, and they know that, but it's not going to deter them in any way. This is quite an exciting part, and I've said that and I apologise for it earlier, but this has got a feeling of, it's like young love. It's like when you come home and you're talking to your friends, you never guess who I've seen. It's that type of feeling, and they're saying the same. It feels like opportunities and attraction and young love. It feels like that excitement. Almost, you know, the Knight of Cups and the Ace of Wands together with regards to the taste that you've left them with. It's somebody who wants more. Somebody who wants it to be more romantic. Somebody who wants a physical connection. And the world and the Fortune card with the Emperor card with, you know, there's like travel cards here, but to me it feels like the Emperor card is the man climbing to the top of the mountain. There's another card which I've forgotten beside it. It just gave me a feeling of they're prepared to put the effort in. It wouldn't surprise me if this person is trying to find out ways to get closer to you. It doesn't make me feel like pile number one online. It's like somebody who's physically doing it, physically asking, trying to find out, don't mean to be creepy, but you know, where you might turn up next. And I don't mean that in a creepy way, because this pile isn't creepy. There's not like creepy cards in it, but it does have a feeling of somebody who wants to put the effort in. Right, I'm going to switch off. I'm going to sum that up with a bit of writing. Back in a minute. Okay, so if they were to say something, I think it would be something like, when I saw you, when I hear your name, or when I'm with you, I know I found the person I want to spend my time with. You left me feeling hungry, you left me feeling excited. I'm not afraid to break down any barriers to our relationship or the attraction. You make me feel there are possibilities, and I feel silly for feeling romantic about it, but undeterred. That's what I would pick up from the cards that I wriggle through with regards to the relationship, the situation, how they felt and what they want to do next, I think. So I'm going to leave you with that pile number 3. I hope it felt right in some ways. Thank you very much. Bye.